puppy cam because people love puppies and maybe this will up my views. Hey y'all, it's me Jewel. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for coming out with me. If it's not your first time here, welcome back. Gang gang. Regardless, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Let's go ahead and do a deep dive right on into it. So this year I am doing Vlogmas. I've been uploading a video every other day since the start of December, but today is not going to be a vlog. I'm not really a vlogger, girl. You know, like vlogs are cool, but like all the time I like to sit down and like chit chat with the girlies. So today we're going to talk about like what it means to be lonely, how I figured out that I was lonely, and how maybe you can figure out that you're lonely, different types of loneliness like platonic loneliness or romantic loneliness, and then we're going to talk about relationships and wanting to be in one, because I feel that a lot of people misconstrued what single people mean when they say I want to be in a relationship. If you have a single friend who says I want to be in a relationship, don't be like, oh my god, just work on yourself, be by yourself. Bitch, no, like we want romantic intimacy that we can't get from ourselves, so we'll talk about that too. I want to talk about loneliness, and that word has such negative connotation in our society, but I'm gonna go ahead and just break the barrier and I'm gonna say it, and if you want to say it with me, if that's how you feel, let's go. Hi, my name is Jewel and I am lonely as fuck. Yeah, how could, you're right, like how could all of this, like she's gorgeous, she's talented, she's funny, how is she lonely? It's probably why I spend so much time talking to my fucking camera. If you know me in real life, friends or family, yes, I am lonely. No, that has nothing to do with you. No, you can't do anything for me to help me. Yes, I know that you love and care for me. Great, happy that's out the way. So loneliness is a feeling that I've been dealing with for some time now, and I didn't know that was the word for it until pretty recently when I was working with my therapist. Guys, therapy works. If you can get one, go get one. And I was having all of these feelings. It wasn't like I wasn't quite depressed. I was just sad and like grumpy, and I just felt weird and icky, and I couldn't understand why. And my normal, you know, methods and tactics weren't helping. Because, you know, if you're like depressed, they say get out the house, get out the bed. Sure, absolutely. But I'd get out my house and I'd feel infinitely worse. I'd like go to the mall, felt worse, go to the movies, felt worse, go to a coffee shop, felt worse. And it was because I was alone. That's why I think the holidays are really hard for some people, because some people don't have that sort of like family support. Some people don't have platonic support. Some people don't have significant others. And if you're feeling lonely in any of those aspects, that's totally fine and totally valid. Personally, as a person, I mostly feel lonely platonically and romantically. And that's because like I have friends where I live, like in my state, granted live kind of like an hour away, but like my closest friends live really far away, and I think I've talked about this in a previous video before. So with that, I've come to notice that I've been missing a sort of intimacy in my life that I had for the past 4 years in undergrad. I talk a lot about the transition from being an undergrad, being in university, to just being a person, you know, outside of being a student. And I'm 2 years post-grad and I still struggle heavily with being my own person outside of school and academic validation and living on campus. So it's been a really long transition. With that said, in the 4 years that I went to school, I have 2 great friends who I would trust with my life. I would. And after graduating, you know, like we still talk, but it's not the same. And so when I say that I realized I was missing a sort of intimacy, I don't even mean romantically, even though I am missing intimacy romantically as well, but that's not exactly what I mean, right? I mean, I've been missing the intimacy of being with people who I know love and trust, and who I know love and trust me. It's just sort of a bond that I have made with certain people on this planet, and not having them near me, not having access to them as much as I used to, has been really hard. And it does feel a bit lonely, and it can get very isolating, and it makes me feel lonely. So with that said, I guess I just wanted to make this video to tell you that being lonely is not the worst thing ever. It can be really hard, I understand. It can be really frustrating, and it can feel weird to admit. When I discovered the fact that I was not, you know, just a sad girl, and I in fact was lonely, it was a really hard thing for me to come to terms with, because that sounds so pathetic. I'm lonely. And it's not a pathetic thing at all. It's a very human experience. You either have been lonely at some point or you will be lonely at some point. You know, that's saying like even in a room full of people, like I still feel lonely. Like that's a human experience. That happens because if you don't have those intimate connections that you need, you're gonna feel lonely, and like that happens. But I felt so pathetic for saying that, like I'm lonely. I'm lonely. But then the dots really started to connect for me. If you want to watch one of my previous videos, I called it like what I learned from having a hoe phase, and I pretty much just talk about how I was talking to like a lot of different people, like going on dates and like getting intimate and all those things, and it wasn't a great time for me. Was it helpful for my mental or spiritual well-being? Absolutely not. Did it give me like an inkling of the intimacy that I so desperately desired? Yeah, kind of. That makes a lot of sense now. I was looking for some sort of intimacy, and I feel like in our society, the cheap, easy fix is sex. I'm not gonna get into that like right now, but I do feel like that's a cheap, easy fix for loneliness. And I think a lot of us are very lonely, whether we want to admit it or not, because our society is more isolating, I feel like, than it has been in previous generations. I'm assuming, you know, I wasn't alive in previous generations, but I feel like it's a lot more isolating than it has been because we're more so connected by technology, but that actual human interface is missing a lot of the times. Where was I going with that? So with the holidays coming up, if you're feeling a bit lonely, don't text him or her. You're just feeling lonely. You don't actually want to tell them Merry Christmas. I see you. You don't want to do that. Don't do it. How did I come to the conclusion that I am in fact lonely and not just depressed and a sad girl? You might be wondering, so I'm going to share that with you. And this probably looks completely different for different people. Because if you're sitting there wondering like, I wonder like am I lonely? Or if you're like, no fucking way, I'm lonely. I'm the baddest bitch ever. Bad bitches can be lonely. Obviously. Because here I am, baddest of bitches. And lonely as hell. Okay, so how did I realize that me personally as a person, was lonely? Again, therapy. Therapy is amazing. Fun fact, did you know that your feelings have, like you can feel it in your body? Like you can feel your feelings physically? I didn't know that because I've spent years repressing all of my feelings, being emotionally numb. But you can feel your feelings in your body. What had happened was, I was like, I am so depressed. I don't know why I'm so depressed. Like, I don't want to leave my bed. I take like 50 showers a day. Don't know why. Every time I leave my house, it makes me feel worse. So why is it that when you leave your house, you feel worse? Because I leave my house and I see couples together holding hands. You know, I go to a coffee shop and I see couples swapping drinks. I go to Target and I see friends walking around just having a good time, kikiing. I go to the movies and I see groups of people together watching this, having this experience together. And I am a lone wolf. I do a lot of things alone, which I'm totally fine with, but I feel like it's caught up to me. So that's why doing things to help depression didn't help my loneliness, you know? I'd be in my house alone. Okay, let's get up. Let's go somewhere. And then I go to the store, but I'm still alone. And I gotta see other people who are not alone, which is not helpful because I'm jealous. Super duper jealous. So then I come home and I'm still sad because I'm still lonely. But I didn't comprehend that because I just thought I was depressed. So I was like, what the fuck? What is wrong with you? Why can't you feel better? And then I was laying in bed all of the time. Always in fucking bed. Always in bed. I realized because loneliness for me, it feels very cold. I get very cold. So I lay in my bed and I have a heating pad in my bed. And even if it's like hot in my place, I have a heating pad full blast and I'm like bundled up because I physically feel so cold. And I was taking so many showers, I thought it was like a weird form of self-harm because my showers were blazing hot. But it's because I'm cold. Like being lonely for me feels cold. And so maybe take some time to look at how you feel physically, like in your body, maybe what that means. I'm not a therapist though. I'm really not a therapist. So me talking in these videos, I'm just talking to you as if I was like talking to bestie. But yeah, I just felt so cold. So I was always taking showers. I was always in bed and I just couldn't figure out why I didn't feel better. And my little happy pills weren't making me feel any better at all. And it was all very frustrating, and all of that to say, it's okay to be lonely. The holidays are hard and it might make those feelings of loneliness stronger, but it's normal. Okay, so if you're lonely, it's part of the human experience. It's normal and you're fine. So I just wanted to have a quick little PSA that if you're lonely, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you. And I've told a couple of people, I've told a couple of friends, and I did tell my mom, I was like, yeah, I'm lonely. And I've just started stating it like that. Like, just a fact. It's just a fact. Like, no good or bad to go with it. It's just a fact. And immediately, like, good friends and family, oh my gosh, what can I do? Like, do you want to hang out some more? Like, can I call you more? No, it's not that. I'm craving a different sort of connection that I'm just not getting right now. Also romantically, too. Like, I really don't want to be single, but I know it's because I'm lonely maybe not so much because I'm in like the right headspace to be with anybody, but I really want to be in a relationship. Being in a romantic relationship is a different kind of intimacy as well. Like I really crave platonic intimacy, and I also do honestly crave romantic intimacy. I don't need familial intimacy. I'm very close to my family. So romantic intimacy, and man, the holidays, bro. If I see one more TikTok of a cute ass couple with matching pajamas with their dog, I'm going to scream. I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna do it. At this point, if a couple comes on my For You page, I just skip it. Because I am bitter. I'm not above admitting that I am bitter. I don't want to see that shit. Because I'm lonely. God damn. Where was I going with that? Like I was saying, romantic intimacy. And I mentioned this in the beginning of the video. If you are single and you want to be in a relationship, babes, that's normal. That's fine. If you are in a relationship and you have a single friend and they say, oh my gosh, I'm so tired of being single. I'm ready for a relationship. And you say, focus on yourself. You can be alone but not lonely. Focus on healing. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut the actual fuck up. Because it's okay to want to be in a relationship with someone even though you're single. And people who say, oh my gosh, like, just make sure that you're done healing first. You're never done healing. Life is painful. It's always making new wounds, cuts, and scratches. So you're never going to be done healing. So stop telling people to work on their healing and work on themselves first before they get into a relationship. Because it's really disrespectful. It's really invalidating. And it makes me want to punch you in your throat. Quite honestly, it really does. Acknowledge the fact that people want romantic intimacy. Acknowledge the fact that people want to be in relationships, especially around the holidays. That brings it out a lot. And it's going to make a lot of people sad. And that's okay. And if you're sad right now because you're not in a relationship, that's fine. That's okay. That's okay. Because bitch, me too. We can start a club. Because you're craving romantic intimacy. I am craving romantic intimacy. And that's okay. And that's something you just can't give to yourself. It's not. Like, I'm sorry. But if you're lonely, it's not your fault. It's not because you don't try to make friends or like you're not trying to date or there's something fundamentally wrong with you. It's because you're craving intimacy that you can't give yourself. It's like trying to massage your own back. No, you can't do it sufficiently. You need someone else to do it. So that was just my small little rant about romantic intimacy and relationships. And being alive is so hard. It's so much work. Like, there's always something. Okay, let me not go there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you like the video. If you made it this far, hey, thank you so much for sticking around. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, have a great week, and have a great life. Bye!